Welcome to Raider Talks. I am your host, Art Navarrete, here alongside Nick Ibarra. Before we get started, hit that subscribe button down below for Raider content all season long. Welcome to our Raiders game preview. We got the Raiders Steelers on Christmas Eve. So Merry Christmas to everyone out there. For Raider fans, hopefully we can get a win so we can enjoy Christmas the next day. Nick, how are you feeling going into this game?
Yeah, no, I'm pumped up. This seems like, winner stays on. Winner stays alive. Losers pretty much out of it. This is a game that I had circled all year. Prime time, or the last game on Saturday night, Christmas Eve. Raiders Pittsburgh. It doesn't get better than that. With the 50th year of the Immaculate Reception and everything. Just pumped up, excited, and ready to go play some football.
Yeah, 50th anniversary of the Immaculate Reception, a play that didn't go our way.
Yeah.
Last week we had a play that went our way in crazy fashion, a game that will probably have a name in the future.
Yeah.
And we got to see with our own eyes, so that was awesome to watch. But building off that game, now we got the Raiders versus Steelers, and this is going to be a tough one. In Pittsburgh. It's set to be about 10 degrees at high, 1 degree to low, but with wind chills, it will feel like -5 degrees in Pittsburgh. How can the Raiders play in this weather? How can they react in this weather? And are you worried that we're playing in this type of weather?
Last year they made a big deal about us playing in Cleveland, and it was nowhere near that temperature, but we sat there, we ran the ball. Carr threw for, I think, 100-something yards with 1 touchdown, and we got out of there with field goals in our running game. I feel like maybe this is something that we're going to have to do again. We got the best running back in the league, probably a lot of screens. That wind might be a little bit crazy, but I don't think this team should be scared of it. Everyone's probably against us. Hey, we're a dome team. We're a West Coast team. We're a good weather team. And we can't play in bad weather, but I think you throw out all that out the window, and I think this team can do whatever in any type of weather.
Yeah, I think, we got to grind one out.
Yeah.
And this is going to be a tough win if we get it. And it's going to be a tough game all around. Steelers playing, they're going to be hungry. They're trying to win for Franco Harris, who passed away earlier in the week. So, that sucks. Rest in peace to him. So they're going to be playing, hard for him. And then they get that advantage in that cold weather, which they can practice in all week, along with the fans they have in Pittsburgh who are really loyal. And it's just a legendary place to play. Yeah,
that place is going to be rocking. It's Christmas Eve. That place is just going to be rocking. They're still playing for something just like us, and it's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, so this Steeler team right here, the Steeler team is getting hot. They started off a little cold. They have won 4 out of their last 6. So they're a team that's getting hot. And in 5 of those games, they have given up 20 or less than 20.
Yeah.
They give up less than 20. So this is going to be a cold game. The Raider offense is, playing just decent right now. How can the Raiders score more than 20 in this football game over a defense that is getting hot and a team that's getting hot?
I think, what you do, and I already said it, is you have Josh Jacobs. You have Josh Jacobs who can sit there. Cold is not going to bother him, and sit there, run the ball, and be a bully. I think screen passes are going to come a lot. I think that's with Josh Jacobs and Abdullah, and I think you can even run screens with Renfro and Devontae, and sit there and if you got to dunk your way and score some points and kick field goals and. But if we get in that red zone, we need to punch it in. But I think this game's going to rely heavily on Josh Jacobs, and I think he has the capability to do it.
Yeah, with it being -5 degrees, Raiders might not need to score 20, but we'll see how they do. And I think with it being that cold, I think it puts both teams on a level playing field. Who's going to be tougher? Who's going to be more resilient? Whose run game is going to be better? Whose offensive line is going to be better? Who's going to be better in the trenches? That might be the determining factor in this game. Who's better in the trenches? It might not be determined by a quarterback on both sides. It might not be determined by play calls. It might just be determined by grit and running the football and who wants it more.
You said it best. I think this game's going to be dealt on, up front. This game's going to be one up front. Who's ready? Who's hungry? And who wants it more?
Yeah, this should be a fun one. Christmas Eve, prime time, night game. I'm so excited for this one. And the Raiders have something to play for this late in the year. And they need this win. And hopefully some things fall in our place. But let's see how they play in this game. Going back to cold weather, Derek Carr, tends to struggle in cold weather, people say. I thought last year against the Browns, he had some big throws against the Browns.
Yeah.
I thought against the Bengals, he had some big throws.
Yeah.
Also, so how do you think he will do in this one? Or do you think we'll even throw it all?
I think his job is going to be very minimal, and his job's probably going to just manage this game, just make some throws. If it's third and short, make those throws. I don't think if it's there, we'll probably go deep. I don't think we're going to go deep a lot. I think he's going to sit there. He just got to do his job, be DC. And even if he walks away, like that Cleveland stat line, if he just walks away with 100-something yards, maybe a touchdown or two, we'll be good. But I honestly think that we'll throw less than 20 times this ball game.
And the defensive side of the ball for the Raiders, a Raider defense that I thought has shown really flashes of looking really good in the last 2 or 3 games. And, they showed flashes of looking bad. Also, how is this team going to stop this running game? I feel like this is a defense where in a normal game, regular game, it feels like they have a good run stopping defense. But when it really matters, when we really need to stop the run, it seems like they run all over us sometimes.
Yeah.
How in this game is this defense going to stop the run, knowing that they're going to run the ball, and we just got to take care of business?
Max Crosby, Denzel Perryman. And, I think that's what you've been seeing these last 2 games. Crosby with tackles for loss, and Perryman's getting in there, whether it's a quarterback or a running back. You just got to get in there and get in there quick. Last week, we really didn't do a good job of the run game. But there was times where we stopped them, and we stopped the running game on their last series to give us the ball back, and then DC scored. But it's timely. We got to stop them, and I think with those 2 guys leading the charge, we can do it.
I'm glad you said those 2 names. Those guys stood out to me. Obviously, Max Crosby is going to stand out every game, and I think his run defense has been just as good as it's been ever in his career. In the NFL. And I think it's going to be no different in this game. He's going to be busting his butt. I think he's going to be working harder than everyone else like he always does. But it could really be a big game for Denzel Perryman, who I think has not grasped the system until later in this year. He even got hurt, so that set him back a little bit. But I feel like he's really getting going now, and I think he's strung together 2 or 3 really good games in a row, bringing back the Denzel Perryman of last year. So I feel like he can have a big game and put up a Pro Bowl type performance in this game, even though I know he didn't make the Pro Bowl, but a Pro Bowl type performance in this game, similar to last year when he made the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, he's had his flashes of, his signs of last year, with the tackles and just doing some great things. But I think, like you said, you've heard his name more often these last 2 or 3 games and really being a factor. And I think this is the game where it all comes together for him, and he's going to have a whole bunch of tackles. They're probably going to run the ball also, have a whole bunch of tackles get in there, some tackles for loss, and really cause havoc.
Let's go back to this Raider offense. I know we're bouncing around a lot, but Josh Jacobs, you mentioned it a little bit, but go into depth how much he means in this game. And, he's our MVP. He's our anchor.
Yeah.
He's a Pro Bowler. How much is he going to affect this game if we want to win or lose?
Oh, I think he's going to have...
How much does he need to affect this game if we want to win or lose?
I seriously think he's going to need to have majority of the touches. He's going to need to be out there. And I know it's going to be hard with, how cold it's going to be and just him just taking hits left and right with how many every carries he's going to get. But he's going to have a big factor in this game if we want to win. And I think just like all season long, he's gonna do it. This is the best running back in the league. He was voted to the Pro Bowl for a reason. And with a couple games left, I think he's got the rushing title all wrapped up already. I think he's leading by 100 and something yards, and I think a 100-yard game is easy for him now.
I think this whole running back room might need to come ready to work in this one, because I think we might go, depending on how Derek does early in the game, depending on Carr does early in the game, if he shows signs of struggle, then, Josh McDaniels might just go away from that and let's just start running the ball, pounding the ball, and win a tight one. And depending on how our defense plays as well, is going to determine how much we're going to throw the ball or not. But this might be a game where Jacobs gets a lot of touches, maybe even Zamir White gets a lot of touches, and Abdullah.
Yeah, I think you run the ball, and I even think the little screens to Abdullah, which have kind of been working. You see him a lot on the third and longs, and him getting close to it. If it's 3rd and 15, he gets that 13 or 14 yards with the blocks and everything. And I I think Jacobs can have a big rushing day in the back, and I also think Abdullah can have a big catching day coming from the back.
Yeah, you mentioned for the wide receivers, maybe this could be a day where we do a lot of screens with Devontae Adams, Matt Collins, Hunter Renfrow, tight end Darren Waller. Is this a day where you might see some trickery similar to a Charger game where we're just, pitching back to Matt Collins and just him gaining a bunch of yards?
Yeah, I see that too. I see maybe flea flicker coming into effect here. We haven't used it in 2 or 3 weeks. It coming back in here.
Whoa, don't tell him. Don't tell him.
But I just think you're going to sit there and you're going to run the ball, and there's going to be some times where, okay, we know you're going to go run the ball with Jacobs, and here comes Matt Collins. Or, we know we're going to run the ball. Oh, wait, you're giving it back to DC. Devontae's wide open 15 yards down the field and, for a touchdown or whatever. I think a lot of trickery can be used in this game, and it should be used in this game if we want to win.
Yeah, I think maybe we should bring out that preseason playbook with all those screenplays and all the creativity we showed. Even though it's preseason, you don't show a lot of creativity. I think we showed some creativity in us just having guys wide open.
Because it was working. It was working. It was really working in preseason.
We need to put that playbook back just in general, but especially for this game where, might not be able to go downfield a lot. I mean, it's 40 degrees in Fresno. I can't feel my hands. It's going to be -4 in Pittsburgh.
Nothing's easy in this league, but it's going to be even that much harder with it being really cold and the wind probably being at what it is. It's going to be harsh conditions, and it's going to be horrible for both teams, and it's just going to be one of those who wants it more, who wants their playoff hope still alive. And I seriously think with Josh Jacobs, I think we're going to do it.
Yeah, this game's going to be a tough one. Mike Tomlin, the coach for the Steelers, he's always has his teams well prepared.
Yeah.
And, you watch his press conference, and we talked about it last year as well, and he knows every detail about the Las Vegas Raiders. He knows every single little thing. So that team's going to come out well prepared. Listening to Josh McDaniels' pressers earlier in the week, he looks well prepared for this one, naming all the little things about the Steelers, talking about a good kicker they have. And, the kicking could be a factor in this game. Who can make the field goals, whether it's a win, no win, wind blowing in, wind blowing out. That might be the big factor in this one.
Yeah, I just because of these conditions, and I know it wasn't that bad, but I look at just that Cleveland game and what Carlson and A.J. Cole did. They pinned him back, and we were right there. Carlson kicked a couple field goals. I think we're going to need that again. I think special teams are going to come up huge. And as long as with Jacobs, I think Carlson and A.J. Cole have a big part in this game too.
Here we go. Let's get a Raider offensive and Raider defensive player of the game for this one.
I'm going to go Josh Jacobs. I say, 150 yards, might even crack 200. To be honest with you, a couple touchdowns. I think he has 30 attempts at rushing and really takes over this ball game.
Yeah, I think it's very easy to say Josh Jacobs in this one. He's the best running back in the league, statistically and everything. I think he's the best. I mean, people are going to argue us maybe, but I think he's the best in the league. So he's going to do what Josh Jacobs do in this one, and I think he's going to go for over 150 yards and lead us to a victory.
Yeah, and for my defensive, I'm going Denzel Perryman. I think they're going to shy away from passing, especially with their quarterback coming off of a concussion a little bit. I think they're going to run the ball, and I think he's going to get to the running back and really have some tackles for losses, some big tackles, and really put a stamp on this game.
My number one's Perryman, but I'll go someone else just cause. I'll go, well, not just cause, I'm going Max Crosby, but I think Max Crosby is going to have an equally big day as Denzel Perryman, but I think it's going to really show Denzel Perryman moving around and flying around the field. Max Crosby can have a quiet game, but still make the biggest effect on the field.
And I think it's kind of finally good to say, and not only because he scored that touchdown, but which way the running back goes. I mean, if you go this way, you're running at Max Crosby. Yeah. You go up the middle, you're running at Denzel Perryman.
Especially last 2 or 3 games.
And you're running this way, now you're running into Chandler Jones, who's kind of waking up a little bit, getting their tackles for losses, I think now it's kind of coming together. You got 2 pieces on the end, one coming right at you, and this defense is looking really good.
Here we go. One key of the game each.
Offensive line hold up. I think that's just mine. Offensive line hold up. If Carr's throwing it, keep him protected, and if we're running the ball, create some room, create some holes for Josh Jacobs. And I think if we do that, This could be a really, really bad game for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, mine's very similar to yours, but mine's win the game in the trenches. So defensive line and offensive line. I feel like if we win this game in the trenches, that we will win this football game. I think that's going to be the biggest deal, especially in these cold weather games where you just need to be gritty and tough. I think if we stop them, defensive line stops their offense. Offensive line just holds them off just for a little bit. Let Jacobs get 4 at a time. I think we can dominate this one. Actually.
I think if everything
domination could be like 17-0 or 17-3. And I think that can happen.
I think if this plays right how we kind of think and everything kind of holds up, Josh Jacobs runs away with this ball game. Defense holds them, and it's gonna be a low scoring one, but it could be a domination.
Yeah, this could be a fun one to watch though. Even though it's gonna be a low scoring game. What's your score prediction for this one?
I think my score prediction is 17-13. I think a couple touchdowns and a field goal. It's going to be really low scoring. And, all my predictions have been high scoring. 30s, 35s, 28s. This is the one where I see all factors coming in. Weather having a huge factor. And we get out of there 17-13.
I got 13-6. Raiders win. 13-6. I think the Raiders will score a touchdown, get a couple field goals. And I think we're going to hold them to a couple field goals. We'll see, though. Our defense has been playing good. They show signs in the first half maybe of playing great. And second half, they can kind of flop a little bit. But I feel like they're going to hold up with this game. I think they're going to be tougher than they are.
Yeah, and, defense really hasn't given up touchdowns early in the ball games. And we're sitting there getting leads and feeling good. And, I think it's going to be a low-scoring one, but it could be a good domination one. And, hopefully we have a good Christmas because of the Raiders.
Yep. Merry Christmas to everybody. We'll see you guys after the game. Go Raiders.
Go Raiders.